Welcome back to the urban farmyard, where this city girl goes country. I have a huge number of animals in this household, so today we're taking a look at the systems that keep it running nice and smoothly. Let's go take a look. Well, if you have got a fair number of animals in your household, you will know that it can be slightly chaotic. It is probably a lot like having a large number of children in your household. There's a certain amount of chaos, a certain amount of clutter and cleaning that simply needs to be done on a day-to-day basis. So today I thought I would share the systems I've put in place to make managing a large number of animals reasonably straightforward. Quite possibly the biggest game changer with all our animals is we free feed absolutely everyone. That means that every animal in my house has free access to food 24 hours a day. Free feeding is a game changer. It means that I don't have to be up at a particular time of the day. It means I don't have to be home at a particular time of day. It means the animals are always going to be fed regardless of whether I'm here or whether I'm tied up doing something else. Now, with some animals, particularly dogs, free feeding is not always possible. If you have a breed that doesn't have a natural off switch, like a Labrador for example, free feeding is really not a good idea. Those animals don't have a great ability to regulate their intake of food, and so what you may find is that by giving them free access to as much food as they want 24/7, they will blow up into a giant balloon. Here we have schnauzers, which we have free fed since they were puppies, so I can easily put a week's worth of food in a gravity fed dispenser and they will just come and go and eat as they please. It's the same with the cats. Whether they're down in the house or up in the cattery, they have free access to food in a gravity feeder all day, every day. And I tell you what, none of them gorge themselves to the point of bursting. We do exactly the same thing with our horses, our goats, our alpacas and our sheep. Something else which makes life a lot easier here is we have built-in solutions for food and water management. When I was redoing the kitchen in this house, I built in food and water bowls at the end of the kitchen island. This is a fantastic solution because it keeps those water bowls and food bowls up off the floor and gives them a nice, neat and tidy space for them to live out of harm's way. I also built in big rubbish bins which hold giant bags of food. These work really well because I no longer have huge bags of food lurking around the kitchen or lurking in the pantry where they're taking up far too much space. These bins are wonderful because I can simply pull them out of the cupboard and refill the bowls whenever they're empty. When it comes to buying in food, this is something that I always do in bulk. For the cats in the cattery, we order by the pallet load. Seriously, a pallet. We have that many cats up there that it doesn't make sense to be doing tiny little grocery shops for food. Firstly, it's expensive. Secondly, it's time consuming. It is far less expensive to bring in a full pallet of food at a much lower rate than trying to stock up every week. Now, while you probably aren't in the market for a full pallet of cat biscuits, it's also still a good idea to buy in bulk. You will find that it's a lot cheaper to buy one giant bag, say a 15 or 20 kilo bag of food, than what it is to buy a whole lot of little 1 kilo bags from the supermarket. Food doesn't deteriorate that quickly, so if you roll the top and place a peg on it, it will keep nice and fresh for a fairly long time. When it comes to water, again, we've got systems in place so I'm not constantly refilling water bowls and troughs. For most of the animals, we have one giant 6-litre fountain which they all drink from. This is wonderful because I can fill it up a couple of times each week. It keeps the water fresh because it's constantly rotating and the animals can just come and go and drink as they please. When it comes to the farm animals, we have gravity-fed water systems. What I've had done is I have had plumbing installed along the roof lines of all the animal houses to collect the water that lands on the roof. That then feeds down drain pipes and into big tubs where the animals can come and go and drink. We're also very lucky in that we have a natural water source here at the sanctuary. We have a beautiful river that runs through the property. This is great because it allows the bigger animals like the horses, alpacas, goats and sheep an opportunity to go down and drink fresh water from the river rather than having to top up water troughs. When it comes to toileting and waste management, there are two things that make life much easier. The first is we've got a pet door which is big enough for both the cats and the dogs to use. This enables them to let themselves in and out 24/7 whenever they need to go to the bathroom. For the younger animals who haven't learned how to use the pet door, we also have litter boxes inside. In order to reduce the amount of smell and the amount of work those litter boxes take, what I do is I place crystal litter into those litter boxes. Crystal litter is by far the best at absorbing the smell, and I don't need to change it nearly as frequently as traditional types of litter. It is absolutely my go-to. When it comes to cleaning and tidying, I must admit I haven't got this completely sorted. I am not the cleanest or tidiest person you are going to meet. What I do try to do though is whip around with a vacuum cleaner once a day to get rid of the worst of the mud and sticks and stones and things like that that have been dragged in through the pet door, and to hoover up the worst of the kitty litter. I also try to go through and mop a couple of times a week. Ideally, I probably do need to be mopping daily, particularly at this time of year when it's winter and we have filthy paws coming in through the cat door, but it's one of those things. We have concrete floors here which are reasonably bulletproof, and I do tend to just turn a blind eye to a lot of the filth that's coming into the house. So there we have it, systems for a large pet family. I hope today's been helpful, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.